My name is Trudy J, author of urban fantasy and fantasy novels. I am this weekend going to the event called Ages of Pages, which is a cool book signing that's held in Hamilton in New Zealand. So if you know New Zealand. And I decided that I wanted to do some craft related to it. And so thus far I have, I don't know if you can see them, but they're horns. My daughter actually made them for me because I said I wanted to buy I wanted to buy these silly little bear ears, and my daughter was like, no, those are ridiculous. Aren't children fun? So she made me these horns, which actually I'm kind of loving because I do love dragons and all things mystical, I was going to say, but more probably magical. So it's kind of cool how she's done them. It's like ring after ring of kind of cardboard. I don't know if you can kind of see it in the thing. And then I painted them black last night, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint them, well, I've got metallic bronze and metallic silver, and I'm just going to try painting them and see what happens, because it might be horrible and I might paint over it again, and then it might just be black. We shall see. I don't want to spend too much time because I do actually have a few other things to organise. And then I thought, so I've got these, I found this, it's like a little headset thingy like this, and I thought I might have to get rid of the green puff, but I could thought I could put that on top of there and that would hold them in place. Either that or one of these ones, which is same but different with no thingy. So I don't know, it's just something I'm going to have to figure out as I go along. So I just thought I'd show you a little bit of what a writer does when they should be writing, but instead they're preparing. Well, I'm preparing for a writer event, so I'm still doing stuff that's relevant, but not maybe as relevant as writing. Let's just not judge me right now. I'm just doing my thing. So yeah, so I'm really not sure how this is going to work. I kind of feel like I should have a sponge or something and not paint it on, because I don't want it to be fully bronze. I just want it to kind of have edges of bronze, and they don't stay up by themselves. Anyway, I'm just going to give it a go and we'll see what happens, and hopefully I'll fast forward the boring bits of this video and you'll be able to see only the fun, exciting stuff and the final product. Doesn't look too bad so far. I used to be quite good at painting and stuff when I was younger. I used to be into art and, you know, all that kind of stuff, but then I don't know, something happens along the way and you stop doing all the arting. I stopped doing all the art and started focusing more on the writing and that kind of thing. The two things I was always really good at school were art and English, you know, reading and writing. I'm a pretty good reader, hence my bookshelves, and writing. So I guess I kind of get to do most of the time one of the things that I always enjoyed, and then when I do stuff like this I get to play at doing the other thing I enjoy. So that doesn't look too bad, I think. So let me tell you a little bit about Ages of Pages. Ages of Pages is this cool event that's been running for a few years now, and they've done a great job. Like it started out quite small, and I remember going to a couple of the early ones and they didn't have a huge number of people going to it per se. I don't know, I think there's just something has happened in the last few years with book events and people are more inclined to go to them now, and they've moved to a bigger venue. It's at the Clawlands Showgrounds, and I went along last year. I went along the year before to, so that must have been 2024, and I just thought the vibe was just awesome. They'd created an amazing vibe at the event, and it was looking really good, and the authors there were all amazing and were doing a fantastic job of promoting their books, and they're all high quality, you know, like everyone is getting on board the publishing train and doing their best work. And so last year I was like, right, this year I'm going to do it. And so I actually went along, and it kind of, to be honest, is a little bit my worst nightmare, standing in front of the stall. And, you know, you kind of imagine, oh God, what if no one comes along and no one likes my books, and you dramatize it all. And then I was just like, actually, I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm just make it about chatting to people and talking about my favorite thing, which is of course books and writing and stuff, and and my books, which are also my favorite things. And so I just chatted to people, and if they bought something, great, and if they didn't, well, I just got to chat to people. So didn't stress myself out about it, I guess, which is probably what I was doing before that. So it turned out that I had loads of fun and it was a great event and I really enjoyed it. So I was completely exhausted by the end of it. I think I'm not an introvert, but they call it an ambivert, which is kind of in the middle, which seems like you're not, you know, somebody who can't pick sides, but or make a decision about what they are. But I do like talking to people and I enjoy being part of, you know, like chatting, and I do get energy from people and being around people. I'm not a full-on introvert, and I know that because my husband is a full-on introvert and he does not get energy from being around people and finds it quite tough sometimes. But I also do need my downtime and my space. So I had a fantastic day, but I was completely zonked afterwards. Writing can be sometimes a bit of a lonely job. We're kind of stuck in our offices or at home writing, sometimes in cafes to be fair, but you know, in our heads all day long. So it is actually quite nice to go out and chat to people, chat to readers, people who like appreciate the kind of stories that they're putting together and that we're making. I like also hanging out with other authors. It's always fun to see what they're doing and how they're doing it. So yeah, I like that too. And then, yeah, mostly it's that. It's chatting to people. Clearly, I just like chatting. I'm just a chatty chat box, which, I don't know, is it an extrovert thing? Maybe. I'm also a verbal processor. I'm someone who likes to chat about stuff and I figure out what I think about things verbally. There's a lot of people who will say, it's much better to be silent and think about what you're going to say before you actually start blathering on about it. But it's just not the way I'm made, so I can't force myself. Okay, I am pretty happy with that. I think that turned out really well. So not as hard as I thought it was going to be, maybe. So yeah. Yeah, look, can you see? I can't tell if you can see or not. I might have to do some close-ups. I'll do some close-ups and then put them in. But these are the horns, and somehow I have to attach them. So I think that's my next job, maybe. Maybe I'll just wait till they dry a little bit more. I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, so that's step one of the crafts for my Ages of Pages table tomorrow. Now I have to get on and do some of the other stuff. Okay. Hello. So after the video of me making the horns, I just wanted to update you on the final part of what happened. So I figured out a way to make the, you know, the little green thingy, like I put black thingies over top of it, and then I had the horns on like that, and I kind of stuck them in, so you can see. Ooh, that flips a bit. Didn't really flip like that last time. Anyway, and then the horns on, and then I was a little bit kind of in the wrong mood. I don't know, something. Whee, look at the crazy horns. I'm kind of admiring them now. I should have worn them. I didn't wear them on the day at Ages of Pages. It was partially because they felt really loosey-goosey. So maybe it's just a work in progress, and the next author event I do, I can maybe try and figure them out before then. The funny thing was that so the production that my daughter was working on, she was in the costumes department, it was Beauty and the Beast, and I went to Beauty and the Beast, the final production, the night before the Ages of Pages event. So, and the Beast had the most amazing horns. Oh, sorry, horn. He had these big, awesome horns, which were exactly what and they were kind of out to the side, and they looked amazing. And I was just like, I should have figured out how to get his horns off of him or something. I don't know how I would have gotten his horns off him. I think he probably would have been a little bit scared of the crazy mother coming up and saying, can I borrow your horns for my... Anyway, so I didn't do that. It's okay. These are the horns. I'm trying to crouch down and look normal at the same time. It's not that easy. But yeah, I think they actually, looking at them now in the light of day, maybe they would have been just a funny thing to wear. But we shall see. Next time, eh, folks? All right, see ya. Bye. This is Trudy J, by the way, author.
extraordinaire making horns crafty person. Well, I really just painted them, to be honest. But anyway, Trudy J, author, signing out. Bye now.